My teenage daughter is packing her carry-on sized suitcase for a weekend away. She starts by packing the bulkiest items first. She's got her jeans there, and you can see she folds them a couple of times, and then she rolls them because the rolled item takes up much less space than a folded item. It makes the best use of the space inside the suitcase. And sometimes she'll fold and roll them a couple times to make sure it's really as small as she can get it. She's packing more clothes than she usually would for a 2-night trip, and that's because this trip is going to involve snow play. She's planning on going sledding, and when you play in the snow, a lot of times your clothes get wet, even if you do have a snowsuit on. So she's packing 3 or 4 sets, full outfits, so that she's got enough clothing because it's a youth trip and she's not guaranteed to have a dryer or anything other than a small clothesline to dry the stuff. And now she's packing her pajamas as well, and she rolls whatever she can because it takes up less space, as I said before. It also means that things are less wrinkly when you take them out than they would be if you just folded them. They don't tend to have as many big wrinkles. They tend to just be a little bit crumpled. But she's packing shirts, and she's packing... Most of her clothing will go into this carry-on size suitcase. She's also going to pack a duffel with her snowsuit and some of the other bigger, bulkier items that won't fit in here, but these clothes are most of the actual clothing she'll be wearing. So she's got thermals there to keep her warm. When you're going to be playing in a cold area, you definitely want a base layer underneath to help retain heat. We only just discovered these a few years ago because we grew up in Southern California and never needed thermals. But she's got several pairs of thermals to wear underneath when she's outside. Thermals also make really good pajamas. She's packing like 5 or 6 pairs of socks because, again, your feet get wet and cold pretty fast when you're playing outdoors in the snow. Other packing tips that we've learned along the way, you can see that she's got an orange ribbon there at the top of her suitcase. That's because her sisters have identical suitcases, and so each of them has a different color ribbon, so we immediately know whose is whose. It's also helpful at the airport if you were taking this suitcase on an airplane as a carry-on. If you have a colorful ribbon or something to identify your suitcase, it helps you pull it off the rack faster. If it has to be checked, then you don't have as much trouble identifying it on the luggage carousel. So that's another reason we do that. This suitcase does have expansion pockets, which is handy. And some suitcases come with that, but my daughter is such an expert at packing because she's been doing it since she was little, probably 6 or 7, that she probably won't actually need much extra space. And she's got, you can see, quite a bit of clothing in there, and she even still has room to add her toiletries if she needs to. So that's how we pack.